Hello, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of Rewind with Ro. I'm your host, Ro Carter. Wonderful co-host in the corner there,
Rob Smith.
What up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm great, just living the life.
All right. A little bass in your voice.
Living that dream out here in LA.
All right. How was your weekend?
Weekend was relaxing. It was definitely relaxing. I just kicked back and enjoyed, just me time.
Hey, everybody needs a little. I always tell everybody this: love yourself before you can love somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Hello. My mom didn't tell me that one, but that's mine. All right. So as usual, we do a little catch up here, and then we have two amazing shows. Well, we'll see tonight. See what Rob thinks.
But wait, bro. Wait.
Well, then we're gonna go into some stuff.
Wait. That wouldn't be fair because you asked me how was my weekend. I didn't ask you how was yours.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
How was your weekend, bro? Did you hear dogs barking?
Is there a dog? All right.
It's not me.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, sorry.
I know. Rest in peace, my baby.
You moved on. Anyway, I don't know. I have no idea. You know what? I relaxed as well.
There it is. see, that question is tough because
Yeah, I did because I came back from Vegas, then New York, and then now back home. So I just I haven't had alcohol in like a week and a half. I'm just detoxing till Memorial Day weekend, and I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm just relaxing.
You always on the go.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna relax now. I'm going back up to Boston. I'm seeing Trevor Noah in 2 weeks in Jersey, so I'm excited to see him stand up. So I love stand up when you get a chance. But that's it, man. And doing the show. So as I was saying, catching up, we have some amazing topics tonight. We're doing that dog's coming in hot. Might have to go headphones. All right. We're doing Cleopatra, the docu-series, really a docudrama. It's 4 episodes on Netflix. And then also we're doing Class of '09, which is about young FBI agents. It does present, past, and future. But before we get into that, let's get into hot topics. All right. The news has been crazy this week. Before our show ends on a Thursday normally. So when we end our show, stuff happens over the weekend, and then we don't get to talk about it until the next Thursday. So if you already heard this, I'm sorry, but I'm just catching up with people that aren't in the news. They just don't have time to pay attention. First off, I don't even want to go with politics first, but let's just deal with this. Jordan Lee, young African-American man, my hometown, got choked out in the subway station in New York City. He was a homeless man, only 30 years old. The crazy part, he got choked out by a Marine veteran on the train. And if you see the video, I mean, just keep in mind it's a painful video just to see somebody literally getting choked out. And then people are holding him down too. So I'll just put my 2 cents on this. And again, this is just my views, not Black Film's views. But I'm from New York, and there's always crazies on the train. And our rule of thumb, and I talked to all of my boys back home and people I know, and they were like, yeah, we just go into the next cart. Unless someone's touching you physically is the only time we're going to put hands on anybody. But I heard he didn't even do that. He was just wilding out, acting crazy. So that's just normal in New York, unfortunately. But that's just the thing. Like, wow, to take somebody's life is crazy to me. What did you think when you heard about that?
Yeah, I have very strong opinions about this because, one, I am sick and tired of the go-to when circumstances like this happen. The go-to becomes, let's find a track record of negative things that we can possibly say about this person who was the victim in this circumstance and make everyone else the victim of the person who was actually killed. And it's disappointing when we do that. And I think people should take a beat before they do that and think about it. Like, don't make comparisons to yourself and the person who was the victim, because now you're trying to find a reason or a rally cry to support you. That is beyond unacceptable to me. Two, like the idea that this was not vigilantism is absurd, because if you as a citizen decide to take circumstances into your own hands and you take the life of another person who was not threatening bodily harm to anyone because they were vocalizing their hunger and need for water and saying that they would rather die and kill people than live without water, food and water, if you take it upon yourself to then kill that person, that's vigilantism. That's not you protecting anyone in the area who was not in harm's way. Like you said, there are crazy people, and I don't want to call them crazy. There are people who are dealing with life issues or people who are dealing with mental issues that we come across every day, and those people don't threaten bodily harm to us, so they don't need to be murdered because they're in a circumstance where they're unhoused. So, and again, like, and I don't know all of the specifics and finite details of the circumstance, but I know he was allegedly on a list of high risk unhoused individuals who were in need of support. And that didn't happen. So I think it's a major failure twice for this person who was in a circumstance where he was unhoused, didn't have food, didn't have water, didn't have shelter. And he was also dealing with, allegedly dealing with these mental issues after witnessing his mother being murdered. And he had never really gotten past that. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that make this situation sad, but we see this over and over and over again. And it's like same circumstance, same results, and we're expecting it to be different. I don't know why.
I think the number one thing is like a Marine choked him out. Like you're trained to like know, like, hey man, I'm about to kill this man. Hello.
And there's a reason that chokeholds are banned for police. Like they're not allowed to do that for a reason.
And so I'm like, at some point you got to know the man can't breathe. You know, it's just one of those things. So shout out to his family. Rest in peace, brother. Moving right along. Trump again in the news, of course. Jean Carroll, who was suing Trump for rape and sexual abuse. Trump had to actually pay up $5 million to her. Lucky if she gets it. But this just proved her case in terms of he is a sexual predator. If you watch these interviews, oh my God, the things he was saying, I was like, please just stop talking. Like, seriously, like if I was a lawyer, I was like, just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Like he was literally saying, like, you know, as a celebrity, when you're in that status, like billionaire status, you can just do these things. Like, yeah, well, that's what we do. And I'm like, you're saying that you are a predator because you are a billionaire. You can just do whatever you want. Literally do whatever you want. And that just made me think on a whole new level of what we kind of deal with, what women deal with, let alone people in general. So shout out to her. I mean, I hope this kind of helps her a little bit. I heard because he was wilding out on CNN last night that she might be able to sue him again for defamation of character. So this man just needs to just go away. I am actually disappointed in CNN last night because they're still giving him a platform. I'm giving him a platform right now as well. But I just go away.
Yeah, I absolutely think he needs to go away. And it's so funny because if you don't want the truth to come out, just one, don't commit a crime. And then two, if you know you're going to be deposed and there's a deposition and you're going to have to tell the truth, like there is no wrangling in this man because he is just
ego you have to have, Rob, to be like, yo, I got this.
He is the epitome of privilege and just thinks that he can say and do whatever he wants. And it's so aggravating to watch it. And the fact that, you know, the highlight of it all to me was, one, how disgusting do you have to be to say, I wouldn't rape you, you're not my type, as opposed to saying, I wouldn't rape you because I'm not a rapist. That would be the go-to.
You're missing that huge, like, wait, what?
But then when they slide a photo in front of you,
you're like, oh yeah, that's
that's my ex-wife. No, that's the woman you allegedly raped. Like the fact that you didn't know the difference between your ex-wife and her means she's obviously your type. So that to me was like
ding, 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 ding.
Telling. And then also the fact that he just didn't show up, like, and gave the excuse that he didn't want to affect traffic in New York. Come on, give me a break. Like this man is just go away. But I know that's not going to happen anytime soon. I just wish we just didn't have to hear from him or talk about him ever again. That would just be like
last time I was talking about him on the show.
That's the cherry on top.
Last time. And then my man George Santos.
That also brings me joy.
My dude got 13 federal charges against him. 13 counts of indictment and federal charges against him. He has done everything from embezzlement to lies upon lies. He claimed he was Jewish, claimed his mom died in 9/11, Holocaust survivor as well. His mom was, ran a play on Broadway. This man has literally claimed to do anything under the sun. He's one of those friends who's like, come on, man, stop it. Yeah.
Just stop while you're ahead.
So again, with this stuff going on, this is my last thing about politics. I want to get into that, but just I hope we're done with the BS and just we have to eventually become a society that says, hell, you can't get away with this crap anymore, right? You just like the crazy, the insane people have to go away. They really do. Or there has to be some checks and balances. And I'm glad there's finally some checks now. Hopefully there'll be some balance, but who knows?
And that's why I keep saying it's so funny to me. I keep saying, like, if you are a criminal or a liar, the best job for you to pursue is one in politics, because it will be easier for you to get a job in politics than for you to get a job at McDonald's, because at least they're like, well, we're not going to hire you if you have a criminal record. But apparently you can become president, you can be a congressman, a senator, you can be a mayor, a governor, you can do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. I just think, and this is my last thing, I just think it's hilarious that immediately after walking out of court, the first thing he does is attack Joe Biden. It's like, come on, like, you couldn't take a breath and try and defend yourself in this moment. You just had to jump on that crazy train.
You got to deflect.
He had to jump on the crazy train.
Kind of like reflex, deflect. And anyway, and our last hot topic of the night, Chris Brown and Usher. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. So supposedly Usher threw a party for Chris Brown's birthday. They all went roller skating, having a good time. Black people just doing black things and having fun. And I guess Tiana Taylor was there, and Chris Brown wasn't happy with her because he was supposed to perform, the whole Michael Jackson tribute, and they canceled it. And supposedly she canceled, backed out, and that's why they gave him another reason to cancel on top of that. But it was because she was doing a movie, not because she didn't want to work with him. And so he took it another way. He had a couple of drinks in him. I guess that escalated. Usher said, yo, chill, man, chill. They went outside. Supposedly, Usher got hit upside the head, but I don't know, because he performed that weekend in Lovers and Friends concert, which I'm really disappointed to go to that because that looked amazing. Classic, all the 90s groups. If you're a big shout out to 90s hip-hop and R&B, when music was amazing. But anyway, that was going down. I don't know. Did you hear about that? What did you think? Or you just don't care? It's just old.
I mean, I heard about it. Yeah, obviously I don't care. I don't care, but I don't care for reasons that are probably not what everyone would assume. My problem is this: like, the man has had us rally behind him and support him.
Which man you talking about, Chris Brown?
Yes, we're like, come on, it's been long enough. Like, he can't be canceled forever. And then this kind of stunt is pulled, especially that energy towards a woman. I'm like, come on, bro. Like,
is any energy towards a woman? You just need to be like, yo, man, my bad. Like, at this point, come on.
Like, this is. I'm just tired of it. I'm just that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I don't care. Like, there's no help in this situation. And then, I should try to go help the man, and
because that's what you're supposed to do when you get a certain age. Like, hey, brother, man, we just need to chill and just
bring it down. Let's enjoy this party for you.
And I blame Usher on the invite. Let me tell you something. If I throw a party for you, if I don't know the rest of your crew, you get one person to invite that I don't. Seriously.
They ain't gonna roll out there with one person. They gotta come with an entourage of 30.
You get one person that we should know everybody else in the room. There's only one other friend you get to bring. Either you got a shorty or one of your boys. Otherwise, you should know everybody else. That's all. Ain't gonna jump me at a party I threw for you. Not even here. All right, moving right along. One of our movies tonight, the docuseries is talking about, is called Cleopatra.
Queen Cleopatra.
Yes, and this was brought to us by the lovely and amazing Jada Pinkett Smith. Getting right back out. She actually narrates the whole film. There's a little bit of controversy. That's why I add this in the hot topics. So the controversy is that Cleopatra is being portrayed as a black woman. How dare they? How dare they? And because of this, Egyptians have lost their mind. They have plans to actually do a counter programming because they don't like how she's being portrayed. I'm going to go into this a little bit, but at the end of the day, one thing I want to add, she was Macedonian and Greek, allegedly. No one knew who her mom was. I love this docuseries because it gives you a history. The only thing I've ever known about Cleopatra was that she was just beautiful, like drop dead gorgeous, right? That's all you ever knew. And that Liz Taylor played her, a white lady played her, right? That was me as a kid. That's all I know about.
She's
about
one of the white women who.
Well, yeah, but it's always been played by somebody, you know. So when I got to find out all this other history about her, right? How smart she was a scholar, became queen later, but her voice in politics, she knew a little bit of everything, right? Her father was under the reign of what's his name? What was that awful movie? Can't think of it. Sorry. Oh, the great guy. What's the name? The Great. What's the name? The Great. Come on, work for me.
Caesar?
No, it wasn't Caesar. After Caesar came, before Caesar was, I can't think of it. Anyway.
Alexander?
Yeah, thank you. Jeez. Oh, sorry. I can't be tough. That's not. So Alexander the Great ruled, and then her father took over for Egypt, and then he passed away, and then she became queen, but led into some other stuff. So you really got to learn about how it is to be a pharaoh, to be a queen and rule over pharaohs, and also how you work with your family in terms of lineage and marrying back into the family. So it was really some weird stuff, some like Game of Thrones stuff going down. But, tell me, Rob, did you know anything about Cleopatra besides what I said? And what did you think of the series first episode?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have digested the bits of information that have been provided to us about Cleopatra. And I love that this series, where we are so far in this series, they touch upon like the fact that, like you said, she was extremely advanced in like the sciences. She was very smart. She was a scholar. Her beauty was just like one part of the thing that made her special. And I also really loved that they broke down the family dynamic and we got to understand the warring relationship that existed in the family, and not that it was just the fact that, you know, people were battling for position, but it was also that she was the oldest and she was probably the one who was closest to having her own perspective and opinion. But her siblings all had individual advisors who, those advisors wanted Cleopatra out of the way so that they could really manipulate these kids into giving them the power that they wanted to rule over Egypt. And I thought it was really interesting the way that they brought in like scholars and historians to really give you in-depth information in between the acted out portions, the scripted portions of the show. You get real conversation and real dialogue from people who are kind of experts in the field. And one thing that I thought was really important that they touched on was the whole conversation of race. And they touch on the fact that Egyptian natives were frowned upon, and there is some information out there that suggests that her grandmother may have been an Egyptian native and her mother was potentially an Egyptian native. So the idea that she was not Egyptian by all intents and purposes false. And the depiction of Cleopatra changes person to person whenever they are creating likenesses of her. They're very different depending on the person who wants to depict her a certain type of way. So of course there are some that look more ethnic and then some that skew more Greek. So I thought that was interesting that they really touched on that and they really dive into that, because the authentic from all of the information that we do have, being that a library with a ton of information was burned down during the war with her warring with her siblings, but a good bulk of information does point to the fact that she was most likely a person of color, whether that color be brown with thick, dark, curly black hair or more Native African looking. But everything does point to the fact that she was most likely a person of color and not some pale skinned Greek woman or a pale skinned, not Greek, but a pale skinned person from Rome. That they try to depict her as being she. And I think it was great that they also touched on this and I'll let you move into that too, because you'll probably want to talk about this with her relationship with Caesar and how a big reason that he did have this infatuation with her was that she was a person who was unlike any other woman that he had ever encountered for multiple reasons. One, because of her intellect, and two, because of her appearance.
Yeah, her appearance. You know what? I am going to do it. I was expecting Beyonce to come out the door. It was all right. It was like Solange came out.
What? You, Ro.
Cleopatra. I was like, all right, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. All right.
I think she looks great.
No, she again beautiful in her own right. Cleopatra. Casting? Can we talk to casting?
But again, you have to, and I do think conventionally the idea of what we think beautiful is now was completely different.
Of course.
Because even if you look at like certain parts of the world, you know, in different centuries, like we would be considered like disgusting because we're too thin. Like we probably be considered poor because we're not obese, you know. So it's like beauty standards were different across across time. So
yeah, we slaves if we here, man.
But I'm saying like the conventional idea of what beauty is like
I got you.
Now is this like waif skinny or like, well, maybe not now because everybody has BBLs, but the idea of beauty changes with time. And I think even what was considered like an exaggerated beauty then may not be an exaggerated beauty now. But I think the actress who plays Cleopatra is beautiful.
In her own right. She's very beautiful. I will say this. The only knock I have about this series is I feel like they were overacting. Like normally when you watch a docu, it's like they just do the scene. But I feel like they were like, yeah, and this. It was I don't know. I felt it was too much. I was like, just do the scene. Seriously, just do the scene. But I love the balance. So it's not over the top, but it's just enough from like just let the historians tell the story and you act it out. That's normally how I've ever seen, you know, something being reenacted. And I felt like they were like doing a movie. So it was very interesting to see it in that mindset, right? Am I wrong? Or
yeah, it's a very interesting approach because they're mixing both of these. Because I don't feel like it's not like a cheesy like
no, it's not cheesy, but
I would say it's not like it's not one of those cheesy like crime reenactment.
Yeah, like
where you have like the real people like, and then they came to the door and then you see the person. Like, it's not one of those terrible reenactments. So I think they did try to make it more like like a bigger production. And of course, like
it wasn't as bad as a crime drama. Yeah, it wasn't.
But it
was like.
So I like it. It does feel like it's a docuseries with some acting sprinkled in. So it's an interesting approach to it, but I really do like the educational component of it, that we're learning a lot more robust information about these queens than we've ever heard. Like I think one of the other great things that they touch on is they're like, people hated the fact that Cleopatra was this powerful woman of color who like had them change the calendar to 365 days. She had Caesar build a library. She had a lot of power and control that women weren't used to seeing women have. So the way that they counteracted that was to pass down stories depicting her as a seductress rather than a woman of intellect. So I think that's a big part of it too. And I love that they kind of touched on that in the film.
Yeah,
too.
she was the first of her kind, right? And we don't hear about it till now, 2023. And for me, you know, I was thinking about this. I was like, wow. I was like, as a kid, Indiana Jones was like my historian in terms of like, and I remember Sesame Street did a movie where they went to like the museum, and the kid who was like one of the pharaohs came to life, and they tried to get him back home. And it was some weird, trippy like movie on Sesame Street when I was a kid. But I loved Egypt. That's on my bucket list. I want to go to the Nile. I want to see all that stuff. So anytime I see a reenactment of it or a docuseries on, I'm like, I'm reading a book about that stuff right now. So I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this is going to be amazing. So I honestly, they did a great job with the history part of it, which I really love when the historians are there and talking about it. Jada's great because her narration's on point. You know, she's reading the thing. So those are all well strung together. It's a 4-part series. So again, we only watched the first one. I don't know if Rob went on a little bit more, but honestly, I wanted to watch more. So I had to stop myself because I was like, if I got into that, then I'm going to want to talk about all 4 episodes, and we're limited on time. So I didn't want to go too deep dive into it, but I would highly recommend checking it out and just learning more about Cleopatra and how much of a huge influence she was to women of color, and to how Egypt was kind of molded into its own. There's a relationship with Caesar. We find out a little bit of that. I don't want to give too much away in that first episode, but you find her relationship, as Rob was mentioning earlier, with her siblings, and how that counterbalance works in terms of like respect and just backstabbing you. Like I said, that Game of Thrones thing earlier. It's like Succession meets Game of Thrones. You gotta watch it back. Everybody,
and it really happened.
Right? Everybody was like, I was like, damn, this stuff really good. And then I'm gonna marry my brother afterwards. I'm like, wait.
Not only that, she had to. Well, do they touch on what happened?
Married twice.
Right, exactly. I was gonna say.
I'm like, wait, what? Because that's just what you do. I'm like, wait, what?
Because when one brother dies, you got to marry the other one.
You got to marry the other brother. Okay. How my brother died.
What was like 12, by the way, like her.
Yeah.
The youngest of her brothers.
And do you have intimate? Like, are you intimate at that? And like, are you supposed to? I don't know. So she's supposed to marry her brother after she married Julius Caesar. All this stuff. So
she didn't marry Caesar.
Caesar was
already married.
Got pregnant. So
he already had a wife.
Yeah, he was married, and she was married to her brother,
mm-hmm.
and then she got knocked up, and then now she's sleeping with a young. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, but don't worry about that. So there's
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. Honestly, you like getting your popcorn, like, damn, that was crazy.
That was the real soap opera.
Yes, it is
original soap opera.
It just blows my mind. She really cared about the people as well, which I don't think you hear about a lot of people in history that always care about the people. It's usually like they're just having a good time. They don't care about anybody else. They're just going to make all the money they can and live these fabulous lives. And she really did invest back into the people of Egypt. The Nile actually plays a huge part in terms of how crops grow. So if you have a certain season where it's a dry season, that it kills it for everybody, right? And they were a huge part of helping Rome and providing food and stuff for them. So it's really interesting to see how much Egypt played a role in history. Thank you, Val, for shouting out Alexandra the Great. Yes, I forgot that. That is an awful movie, by the way. Check that out if you want. But it's really interesting just to see the history of that. So in the book I'm reading, and then it switches over to them and the Egyptians kind of taking over. And then Rome comes in, Julius Caesar. So then it goes into Julius Caesar and with her sister. So check it out on Netflix. Anything else you want to add on that?
Yes. The beautiful Adele James plays Cleopatra. I just want to throw that out there because I think she's very lovely. And she depicts a strong, beautiful Black queen. And
I just don't want to be misquoted here. I never said. She's a beautiful lady. Never said Cleopatra, but I'm saying. I'm just going off what they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving right along. Don't come for me. Again.
Oh, they're coming for you, Ro. They
coming for Rob Smith. Goes to Rob the Black Show. All right. Moving right along. Class of 09, which is on Hulu. We're giving you 2 episodes. Again, we're only doing 1 episode tonight. I saw this drama, and the reason why I picked this drama is because of Brian Tyree Henry. He's on Atlanta. He's blowing up. He's doing everything now. And there's other characters of color in this, but he's the main, and one of the mains in this, and I really love to see he's like a nerdy guy who wants to be an FBI agent. So basically this show is goofy FBI agents who graduate from Quantico in 2009 and reunite following the death of a mutual friend. And you kind of see this unfold. You see the future. It starts in the future of, I guess, of the United States and what the FBI has become. So you really see it's almost like Minority Report, if you ever saw that movie with Tom Cruise, and there's things on the screen and you see all these things. And his character is Teo, and he is actually now the head of the FBI. And you see him kind of going on and running them and getting them into the place. and then there's an investigation, and then it goes back to them being younger, and then present day. So it's really cool when you go to 3 decades, and you kind of see them young as rookies, them actually the future, and then in between that present day, kind of figuring out their relationships and stuff like that. What did you think of the show, Rob? What's that look for? Did I miss something?
No.
Did you not like the show, Rob?
Well, I don't want to say I didn't like it.
Oh, Rob, here we go. All right.
I don't want to say I didn't like it. Okay, first I have to say I love Brian Tyree Henry, and he was nominated this year for an Academy Award for his role in Causeway.
Causeway, great movie.
Yes, he's been nominated for an Emmy, for a Tony. He's
very talented,
amazingly talented brother, and I'm super excited to see, the future of his career and what all comes, because he's like everywhere. He's in everything. He's everywhere. Brian Tyree Henry is amazing. Okay, so yes, the way that they break up the show for me is, one, I think they could have done they could have done the past, present, future like once or twice, and then I feel like they think I'm dumb because they keep doing it. I know what they look like in the past, I know what they look like in the present, and I know what they look like in the future. So you don't have to show me that every 10 seconds. It was a little too much. But also, this just felt like Quantico, but just a little less like CW. I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not totally bought in yet. I will not lie. I did watch both episodes that are out.
Yeah, I watched second episodes. Yo, they come out with fire.
Yeah, it starts getting a little bit heavier. So you start to realize, okay, I think it's a slow burn, because it's really that setup. The first 2 episodes were like, oh boy. The first episode was like, hey, meet all the players, because there's a lot of people and a lot of crazy shit's about to happen. And then episode 2 was like, oh boy, it's crazy shit happening, but we kind of are going to give you a peek into what's going to happen. So hopefully episodes 3 and 4 are like, okay, now I'm pulled in and I have to watch the rest of the series, because for me, I'm really only watching it because it's a really all-star cast, and I'm like super excited to see where it goes, and I love all of them, but I'm not completely sold yet. I will say that the producer, his name is Tom Rob Smith, so he gets credit because my name is Rob Smith, so I'm just gonna stick it out. And he found a way to make like our plain name really cool. He just added another plain name, so Tom Rob Smith. So I'm like, that's cool. But yeah, I'm not fully sold yet. But I will say the performances are great. It's a really stellar all-star cast.
The cast is great. The acting is really good. What I love about Brian Tyree Henry's character is that he's that nerdy black guy, but they're putting like, we're smart, right? We're getting the FBI. We're getting into powerful positions. I just love to see us on screen like that. So for me, that was a big shout out to him, and big shout out to the writer and creator to be able to just envision him at that role.
Absolutely, I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I am saying I like it, but I don't. I think they could have stopped with the present, past, future. Like,
listen, some people are doing chores at the same time, Rob, and they're watching and they look up and they don't know. That's what you do.
Eyeballs different in the future. We know, like, come on, like we can tell. Brian Tyree Henry got a weird updo.
Black don't crack. It's sometimes it could be the dark.
He got a little weird Jerry curl updo in the future. We know what he looks like in the future. We know, like, I don't need them to tell me every 10 seconds. It's the present, the past, or the future. I get it.
I like it in the corner. You don't need to flash in the middle. Just put in the corner. Present. Look. Because sometimes they're just in the car and you're like, oh, what's about to go down?
He had the Jerry curl updo. I knew it was the future.
Again, send your hate mail to Rob Smith.
Look, hey, like I said, I'm not telling people not to watch it because I think it's probably going to get interesting, but episode 1 and 2 are dragging a little bit for me. And I was like, trying to stay up, but it is at least enough.
My girlfriend just said yes. She agrees with you, Rob.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, she was doing five activities at the same time while she was watching it.
See, this is why she needs to be on a few episodes of the show. But I do feel like, again, there's enough meat in there that they're beating to make, some good hamburgers.
That one scene in the second episode, that set it off for me. I was like, thank you. I needed that kind of energy, that adrenaline, and so I'm okay now. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm back in the show.
We have a lot of people sleeping together and breaking up. So we know there's drama in relationships. We know that there's like people who are being shady. So we know that we people in the FBI are shady, people outside of the FBI are shady. So we know there's a lot of drama about to unfold. There's a lot of storylines that we're going to be able to follow. Everybody who was in the class, all of the students who were in the class of 09 together at Quantico have all gone their separate ways, and they all are like successful in their own right or causing trouble in their own right. And I see where this is going, because what was the movie was it Tom Cruise where they were like arresting people because they thought
Minority Report.
Yeah, so I feel like it's Quantico on meets Minority Report. Yeah. So it's like I see where it's going.
Like I've seen the movie, I already know how it goes down.
I've seen the TV show, I've seen the movie. But it's we'll see where it goes.
Okay, all right. I think with this cast, I definitely get another kick in, another gear shift, so that you're like, oh, okay, I'm invested a little bit more. But next episode comes out next week, so check that out. It's on Hulu, so you can stream it right now.
2 episodes coming out next week, or just one?
Oh. Yeah, they gave you 2. That's why it's like some of these shows nowadays, you might as well give me the whole thing, right? Because the one every week, if you don't crush me on that first one, that's it.
I think maybe that's why they gave us 2.
Yeah,
they gave us 2 because they were like, well, they gonna see this first one and be like, oh no. So they're like, let's give them 1 and 2 together
and just go from there. That's it. All right. Well, that's it. Anything you want to add, Rob?
Watch it.
But
let us know what you think.
Please check it out. I can't wait. In 2 weeks, we're gonna do White Man Can't Jump. He's gonna love that. Reboot. Can't wait for Rob's.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love Jack Harlow. So I literally every day at the gym.
You see him?
No.
Oh, you play.
I wish. If that was the case, we would be best friends.
What you doing?
We would be best friends if I see him at the gym. I'd be like, yo, what's up, Jack? And he would just be like, who is this guy? I'm like, come on, bro.
How are you?
But I listen to that album. I have my go-to albums that I listen to when I work out, right? It's either Jack Harlow, Solange, the first one.
Cleopatra. Yep.
Doja Cat or Beyonce. Those are my go-to albums for the gym. But Jack Harlow is usually where I go.
I do Wu-Tang.
Oh, okay.
Hit those weights hard. Let's go in. Oh. Yeah. Protect your neck. Boom. Any movies you're looking forward to this summer that are coming out or in the fall?
Yes.
Give me 1 or 2 before we close it out.
The Little Mermaid.
Oh, that's right. Little Mermaid's coming out. Ooh, got a lot of hate, but everybody always hates. I'm excited to see what they do and any spin they may have put on it. But right, I mean, besides the only thing I get upset is because Aquaman was one of those movies that's all underwater.
Yeah.
And the scene sometimes I was like, the water scene. Like I've seen good movies do good underwater scenes, and some movies that are like if it's the whole movie's in the water, it's like, what are we doing here with the bubbles? No bubbles in the bubble. Like make up your mind. You're gonna go full bubble or no bubble. Right? I'm just saying, either go bubble or don't go bubble.
Yeah,
I think bubble and then give me more, no bubble. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that. Under the Sea, I mean, they got to crush it. Otherwise, what's the point?
I keep knocking over my water bottle. Sorry.
That's all right. It's first time out. And Kiss the Girl. That's my favorite. There you see her. Wah, wah. Oh, I can't wait. I hope that they got it out the park.
Yeah, I'm excited because that's gonna be the brother's name from
Hamilton. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's Sebastian, and
got a lot of pressure. That's forget the Little Mermaid. Listen, he's got the pressure of all. He better knock Sebastian out the box. That's tough.
Oh, I think there's an immense amount of pressure for every single song in that movie, because all of them are like, they have, like, Melissa McCarthy's gonna have to come with it.
Yeah, she's gonna have to. Ooh, she's gonna have to bring in that one.
Yeah, so there's a immense amount of pressure with every song. Every song from that movie is a classic. Every song from that movie is a karaoke song.
Either they're gonna be. And by the way, don't ever go to karaoke when you have people from plays. Oh my God. Oh God.
Well, you know, as soon as that movie comes out, all those songs are going to be back in the karaoke rotation at every karaoke bar. So prepare yourself.
So this summer, run. Movie I'm looking forward to. It's not out until September, but Denzel's going to do one more. It's called The Equalizer 3. He's going to do Equalizer 3. He's going to do one more. 2 was okay. 1 was really great. So I'd love to see Denzel just finish it out and just put a closing on something. It's almost became like the Wick series. So I love that he's kind of built the momentum for a new character, and not playing always a cop. You know, as he always, hey, I'm gonna be another black cop. Here we go.
Yeah, he's good at it.
So it's good to see that, and just exciting to see Dune doesn't come out until the fall, later in the fall.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, so just stuff like that. I'm really excited just to see new movies, new characters, and and also Spider-Man 2, the what is that one? The Marvel one, cartoon one. That really looks good.
Oh yeah. So I can't lie. I know it's so cheesy, but I really do want to see Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It's gonna be so. I want to see that.
It's the same thing over and over, Rob.
I know, but I love it. And then they're gonna change all the rides at the theme parks to
the world is destroyed again. I must save it.
But now they're animal robots. This is great.
Okay. All right. Now the cast is black though, but black and Hispanic.
Yeah, we got Daniel Fishback.
Yeah. So we'll see. Good cast. All right, cool. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. This has been an episode of Rewind with Ro. Tune in next week. I don't know what we'll have. Something new. But thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.
You don't know what we'll have?
I have no idea.
But, okay.
Bye.
Bye.